Hey friends, welcome back to the show. Today's episode is a little bit sensitive one for me because we're talking about anxiety, not just the surface level jittery stuff that you get before a big presentation. I mean the kind of anxiety that can quietly consume you from the inside out. For as long as I can remember, I've lived with anxiety. Even as a little girl, I would lie awake at night with my mind racing. I'd wake up with my mind racing and my heart pounding. I'd get the Sunday night scaries every week before going back to school. By my early 20s, I was prescribed anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication, and I've been on them ever since. Now, at 51, I'm walking into something I've never thought I'd see, and that is a future where I may not need medication just to get through daily life. And this hope didn't come because I've been praying harder or thinking more positively, although all of those things do, of course, help. This really came because of what I've been learning and experiencing through my functional health program and my own functional health journey. And it's really fascinating how deeply our gut, our brains, our nervous systems, and every other parts of our body are connected.
Are you a busy woman in leadership who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? Do you wrestle with perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you're enough no matter how successful you are on paper? Are you longing for more time, more peace, and more energy to live and lead the way God intended? Sister, you are right where you need to be. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, healthcare leader, Christian life coach, and functional health practitioner. I spent decades hustling for my worth through achievement and approval, only to end up burned out and exhausted. But God showed me a better way, a grace-fueled way. And now, I help women just like you break free from people-pleasing and overwhelm, lead well, live well, and be well. Here, we blend spirit-driven success with practical leadership, wellness, and mindset strategies so that you can multiply your time and impact without sacrificing your health or your family. If you're ready to lead well, live healthier, and finally find the peace and purpose God has waiting for you, you are in the right place. So roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to reclaim your time, restore your joy, and lead from grace. And just as a reminder, the information you hear on this show is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health.
So let's start with this little truth. Anxiety often wears a mask. On the outside, you can look completely fine. Leading, working, serving, hitting deadlines, showing up for your family, but inside, your heart may be racing, your stomach is in knots, your mind is replaying 100 different what ifs. That has been me for decades. And if that's you too, you're not weak or fragile or broken, and you're definitely not alone. I know how debilitating anxiety can be. I know what it feels like to have panic attacks nearly every hour of the day, sometimes more than one every hour of the day, holding it together on the outside and literally feeling like you're going to die on the inside. I know what it's like to think it would be easier just to not wake up the next morning. Now, today, I'm going to talk about the nerdy, sciencey part of anxiety, but probably on the next episode, I'm going to talk a bit more about my own journey, kind of a little bit more vulnerable places, and the new place that I have found myself in. A place I didn't know was possible. But here's first a bit of the science. You may have heard that about 90% of serotonin, which is the feel-good neurotransmitter, is made in the gut. That's true, but here's an important nuance. The serotonin made in your gut doesn't actually cross into your brain. So it's not the serotonin that we think of when talking about that which directly works in the brain to impact mood. That serotonin is synthesized mainly in the brainstem. But here's where it still very much matters, and here's how your gut really is connected to your brain in a sense. First and foremost, there's the importance of the vagus nerve signaling. Now, gut serotonin communicates through the vagus nerve, shaping how your brain perceives and responds to stress. The vagus nerve is like a super highway, a primary conduit for signals from the gastrointestinal system to the central nervous system. Gut serotonin actually activates the afferent, or the fibers traveling away from the gut to the brain, which then influences emotional regulation, your stress responses, and immune modulation. So if digestion is compromised in a way that affects the production of gut serotonin, this communication pathway becomes very compromised. Also, we have inflammation as a player. If your gut is leaky or inflamed, it pushes your body to divert tryptophan, which is the amino acid used to make serotonin in the brain, down an inflammatory pathway instead of down the normal neurotransmitter production pathway. So that leaves less tryptophan available for serotonin production in the brain, which then can fuel anxiety and depression. The gut is where you absorb the building blocks for making neurotransmitters, protein for the amino acids, and cofactors like B6, zinc, magnesium, and iron. If digestion or absorption is compromised, your brain simply doesn't have what it needs to build neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, or GABA, all of those feel-good neurotransmitters. And finally, the microbiome of the gut influences your mood. Your gut bacteria create byproducts that either calm the nervous system or keep it on high alert. So an imbalance in that microbiome has been strongly linked with different mood disorders. So no, your gut serotonin isn't hopping over into your brain, but your gut is still running the show when it comes to whether your brain has the number one, communication, and number two, the raw materials and balance it needs to regulate your mood. So let's get a little more specific. To build serotonin, your body needs tryptophan, like I said, which is an amino acid from protein foods like turkey, eggs, chicken, nuts. And it also needs vitamin B6, magnesium, zinc, iron, folate, and vitamin C, which are all things we call cofactors that help enzymes convert tryptophan into serotonin. So again, if digestion is weak or compromised, protein isn't broken down properly, which means there's fewer amino acids available. If the gut lining is leaky, that means fewer nutrients are absorbed. If the liver is congested, that means there's a sluggish recycling of neurotransmitters and hormones, and you put all of that together, your body literally can't make enough serotonin to keep you steady. Now, here's where medications like SSRIs come in. They don't make serotonin. They just help you recycle what little you already have. So for many people, that provides temporary relief. But over time, SSRIs can downregulate your body's sensitivity to serotonin, and they don't fix the root problem of why your body isn't producing enough in the first place. It's like running your car on fumes and using a gadget to stretch what's left in the tank. Well, eventually the tank just needs to be refilled. This is where functional health changes the story. instead of asking, how can I stretch what little serotonin I've got? It asks, why is my body not making enough in the first place, and how can I restore it? The answer usually involves restoring digestion so that protein breaks down into usable amino acids, healing the gut lining so that nutrients are absorbed instead of lost, nourishing with nutrients that are critical for neurotransmitter production, supporting detox pathways so that the liver can process hormones and neurotransmitters, and calming other hidden stressors, things like toxins, mold, chronic stress, and poor sleep that keep your nervous system in overdrive. When we address all of these things at once, we're not just managing anxiety, we're creating the actual conditions needed for healing. Now, this is where faith intersects so beautifully with functional health. Philippians chapter 4 reminds us, do not be anxious about anything, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds. But here's what I've learned. God designed our bodies in a way where peace isn't just spiritual, it is also physical. When we support the gut, when we nourish the brain and calm the nervous system, we help create the environment for that peace to land. We help get the body back to the natural design God intended. I'm not telling you to stop your medications. Please hear me. I am not telling you to stop your medications. I'm not trying to give you medical advice. That is a conversation that needs to be had with your primary care provider. None of this is intended to be medical advice, and none of this is intended to say that I know exactly what you're dealing with and what you're going through. And while I am very, very slowly tapering down, I am still taking some medication. But for the first time in my life, at least in my adult life, I feel hope that one day, I think very soon, my body may not need it. Because I'm restoring the health of the systems that were broken for decades. Friend, if you've lived with anxiety, I want you to hear this. You're not broken. You're not fragile. You're not weak. There are physical processes in your body that can be healed, and God has given us both the wisdom, the body, and the tools to partner with Him in that healing. I am so excited for what's coming in my own functional health journey and in my functional health practice. I cannot wait to help more high-achieving professional women heal from the inside out and make midlife their comeback instead of a crisis. I truly, truly believe that our best years are ahead of us. Remember, healing takes time, but you don't have to walk this road alone. If you want to explore this more, please reach out to me. Send me an email, send me a DM on Instagram, or go to gracefilledleader.com/health. That's gracefilledleader.com/HEALTH to get on my functional health practice waiting list. And until next time, lead well, live well, and be well, sister friend. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.